It is day 24 of 75 hard. Let's go. There was never going to be a hike in Missouri yesterday, not with the storms that we were getting. But instead of doing the trail, I danced outside between the raindrops. I sweat so much. It was so humid, like you could cut the air with a knife. And by the end of it all, my hair, it had its own zip code. It was really bad. But a day that started out like that, it turned into a day of dreams. What we planned on doing in Missouri was looking for RVs. Last week, when we came back from Branson, we were like halfway between Branson and home, and David says, I think we should sell the house and we should buy an RV, and that way we can drive wherever you want to hike. Now, I understand when he first suggested that we retire, I was like, oh, wait a minute, I am not old enough to do that. And then that was about maybe 4 months ago. And now that I've wrapped my head around it, I'm very excited. But the first time he said, let's retire in Belize. Oh, okay, we used to live there in 2016 and we love it there. And I thought, yes, okay, I can get used to that. We looked at real estate to see what was available. We reconnected with our realtor, and that was our plan. We were gonna go to Belize. But it's starting to get hot here. And all I kept thinking about was, it's always hot in Belize, always. Not like Ghana, but thanks to Ghana, I don't ever want to live in the heat like that. The unending, every dang day heat. I'm just not for it. I'd rather be able to pick up and move and go someplace where it's cool and I can hike in the mountains. And like, what a great idea that was. So by the time we were home, seriously, halfway to Branson, 20 minutes, I was bought into the idea of selling the house, buying an RV, and living full-time on the road. So we didn't hike the trail, which I really wanted to do, but we advanced our dreams. We kept moving forward. And I think that that's what you have to do in life, is just keep moving forward. That's what happy aging is all about, making sure you're making progress in the direction you want to go to. And if something comes up and things change, whoops, you make a pivot. And it's okay to do that. You just have to be flexible and have an open mind that, okay, we're not going to hike a trail today because it's raining, but we can still go see those RVs, which we did. I have to think, what can I do in this weather? What can I do to keep moving forward? And what can I do to keep showing up for myself and aging happy? And so it does involve some pivoting, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I don't like the fact that there's no hiking. I mean, there's an off season in hiking here, but dude, it is really hot. And there are mosquitoes, which I know there are mosquitoes everywhere. But chiggers, have you ever been bitten by a chigger? Like I didn't even know what a chigger was until I became a realtor. And I showed some property, some land. And the next morning, I thought I had chicken pox. I told my husband, like, oh my gosh, I think I have chicken pox. And he's like, oh, those look like chigger bites to me. So now I've been in chiggers more than I want to be in. And so the idea of, like, when I watch people hike the trails, the different trails in the tall grass, all I can think about is chiggers. It's like, how do they avoid getting chigger bites? There's nothing worse. I hate itching. So yeah, I don't want to be on any trails right now that would involve that. And there's, of course, poisonous snakes here. And so there's just an off season here that David knows. He knows the way to make me go in the right direction he wants to go in. You can hike wherever you want in the world, or in the United States. And it's like, okay, because we've lived all over the world, and it's time for us to stay here. And I'm okay with that. And then if we buy an RV and do RVing full time, then if something happens with our granddaughter or she's got something coming up, we can always go back there. I will tell you that I had every intention of bringing you along on the RV trip. But it was still raining when we got there. Not bad, but it was still raining. And I just didn't want my phone to get wet. So we found the one we think we love. Back in the day, we lived in an RV, a fifth wheel in Amarillo, Texas, because we were going there for a project and we couldn't find a place to stay. So we bought an RV, we had it delivered to the park and we lived in it, and then we sold it before we left. So we've actually lived in a fifth wheel before, and we remembered how roomy they are. Well, the one we saw that we really love and are probably going to buy eventually, it's got such a high roof. You know, we're tall people, and it's got so much room. It just seems very spacious for us, big people, big dogs, and someplace we're going to live all the time. And it's incredible the difference in RVs today and RVs before. And like, I can't even imagine in the next 2 years how different or what extra awesome things are going to be in there. But this one's super great. We found a dealer that's super great. We'll definitely buy our rig from them, because we went to 2 other places. They didn't even act like they cared if we were there. I mean, you have to start somewhere, right? If you don't know what you're looking for, somebody needs to help you. And this guy was so willing to help us, and we appreciate that so much, because he knows we're a couple years down the road, but it didn't stop him from giving us really great service. So that's awesome. My encouragement to you today is that if you have plans to work out outside and you're confronted with a thunderstorm or some other such dastardly weather situation, a tornado. We don't get tornadoes right here too often, but around us they do. You have to just be easy with yourself, you know. Don't get yourself so stuck into something. I'm going to do this and that's it, because that's the way to fail. There's always something else you could do. I found yesterday I just had the hardest time finishing that second workout. I don't know, I was tired, and I started probably 6 different things before I finally finished up. And I mean, yeah, I don't really like to work out like that, but I did it because it's part of what I need to do. And I'm getting to 75 and I'm at 24. So I'm like almost a third of the way through it. And I'm not quitting now. I'm just not going to give up on myself. I need this for me. It's amazing. You know, I'm sleeping better and I feel better, and my joints aren't as creaky, and it's just really great. I'm so glad I'm doing this for myself. If this video spoke to you, I encourage you to go and watch this video, because it tells you the reason why I started this channel. And it's not about weight loss. It's not about fitness and health necessary, kind of, yeah, that like loosely channels it, but mostly I want to encourage you not to give up on yourself, to keep going. You're not old, you know. We're going to move into the next chapter strong and healthy and happy, and that's what I really hope for you and what I encourage you to do. So that's all I have right now. See you next time.